We're back. This is crazy. Um, this is like the fourth video I've done wearing this shirt. It's because I'm recording them all in a row. So I hope you guys don't care, but I'm just on a roll right now. So we're going. I just recorded my advice to new climbers and how to stay like kind of in love with climbing, foster the little flame that you get, nurture, sorry. Um, but this video is gonna be, um, it's gonna be about the benefits of the social side of climbing. And so, um, I think most people think of rock climbing as like a physical exercise, right? Like that's like the obvious benefit. But socially, I think a lot of people don't understand like how dope climbing is. Um, and so I'm gonna kind of get into that. The way I will break it down in this video is um, I will talk about how, I guess I'll kind of just talk about like my experience with it, because that's the best that I can do with that. Um, and I'll like relate it to you guys. And so when I first started climbing, right, this was in November 2024, it's a couple years ago. I was a very like introverted person. Um, I majored in game development and CS. So I used to program video games. Before I started climbing, I was in a programming internship for a video game. And so um, I was pretty in my shell. I wouldn't say I was like antisocial. Like I still was in a few clubs, in like during university and all that stuff. But if you ask like the people that were around me, like to describe me as introvert or extrovert, like they 100% would have said introvert. And so since then, one, I've worked a sales job, which really that will really help with that. Help. I don't mean like introvert as in a bad way, but it'll really make you a lot more talkative. And then two, I've started climbing a lot, um, and I really emphasize like the social aspect of it. And so I'll be going over the social aspect of climbing, and how that's kind of improved my life. Because that's why I'm talking to you about it, is because I think it'll benefit you. Um, and so, yeah, when I started climbing originally, my only goal was to get better at climbing just because I really liked it a lot, right? It was not to make friends, it was not to be more fulfilled, like socially or whatever. Like, my mind was not on that at all. It was just get better at climbing. And so, for me, I found that the best way to do that in my computer science brain, was to ask people who had experience, right? Like, this doesn't apply to just climbing, like in real life, right? You ask a mentor, you ask friends, or whoever knows more, um, about like what I should be doing to get better. How do I get better? Like, what am I doing wrong? And so it was the same thing with climbing, right? I walk into the gym, try stuff on my own, right? Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where you can't do stuff anymore. Now, you have a choice. You can either do nothing about it. Okay, you're probably not gonna do nothing about it. You can try to figure it out on your own, right? Which is good. I do think there's benefits. Like, obviously, there's benefits to both of them. It's good to practice that, right? There are some people who there are some people who describe it like this, right? When you're learning something, when you're learning knowledge, right? They call it declarative knowledge and they call it learned knowledge or skill-based knowledge, right? Now, skill-based knowledge is you're just getting better at something you already like know about, right? So if like I do sales for work, right? I'm just getting better at sales. For rock climbing, maybe it's like, I don't know, crimps. Like crimping is like a way you hold a hold, right? Um, tiny hold, whatever. You can get better at doing that. Your fingers can get stronger. You can learn different techniques, whatever, all this stuff. And then declarative knowledge is knowledge is learning knowledge that you just don't know about. Like, this is just the stuff that you just don't know exists, right? And so there's no way to get better at it. And what you'll find is that when you're starting out climbing, most of the stuff that you're learning is not how to get better at something you know. It's learning stuff that you don't know exists. It's like, it's different techniques, right? Heel hooks. I'm just keep saying crimps because I can't think of anything else. Whatever, pinches, how to hold different holds, how to keep your body into the wall, all this stuff, technique. It's mostly going to be technique when you're first starting out. And of course, like, just time on the wall and like getting stronger. But yeah, like, those are just things like you just don't know how to do, bro. Like, I didn't know how to do them either. Everybody who started, like, everybody who climbs, when they first started, they didn't know how to do it. And so you're just learning about things that you don't know existed, right? And so how do you do that? How do you fix this, right? Well, you're not going to figure it out by staring at the wall. Now, you might, right? Or instead of staring at the wall for like 3 hours, right? And I don't know, like, feeding your ego that you can proof that you like figured out how to heel hook by staring at the wall for 8 hours. Like, you can ask the guy next to you instead, like, and it'll take him 3 seconds to like explain. Like, literally, it'll take him probably like 30 seconds to walk up to the problem and show you, this is how you set a heel hook. And like, obviously, once you know that heel hooking exists, there's skill to that, right? Like, learning how to do it better, whatever, different positions. But you didn't know it existed yet, bro. And so I found that talking to other people is the easiest way to learn new things, right? That's essentially what that is. And when you're first starting out, that's the biggest thing. And so, to sum it up, when you're new, ask questions. Ask questions to people around you, right? If you're on a problem, you're working on it, and someone else goes and does the problem that you don't know how to do, ask them, hey, how'd you do that? Right? Hey, how'd you do this? Be polite. They're usually super nice, right? They're being like, oh, like, I did this, or what are you stuck on? Oh, I'm stuck on this, right? Your goal is not to like be friends with them, right? Like, your goal is just to learn how to do it. Now, the reason I was bringing this up is because there's a big benefit to the social side of climbing, right? I was just talking about how I started becoming more social in the gym, and just through asking all those questions, I was becoming more comfortable in the gym, right? The more you improve, the more you feel like, oh, like, this is kind of my space, like, I understand what's going on here. You're more familiar, you're more comfortable with the gym and whatever, yada yada, the people. But yeah, so then you'll find that even if you're outside of asking questions, stay introverted, right? You'll find that eventually you will get good enough to where other people are asking you questions, right? And so that will take however X amount of time, different for everybody. But you'll find that you just climbing in the gym, right? Now you're that person where someone new sees you and is like, hey, how do I do that? Like, oh, that was super cool, bro. Like, I don't know how to do that. Like, how did you do that? They're going to start asking you questions. And that's, for me, was when I was really like, oh shit, like, I can just be myself, and I can just it's almost like a sense of belonging, if that makes sense. Like, you almost open up to the gym because you realize, like, not that you're important, but like that you can be helpful to other people, right? And so for me, that helped open me up more socially to people within the gym, because I knew that I could help people. And now I'm not saying, like, obviously, like, don't go around trying to like backseat fucking like coach people without like them asking you, but yeah. So like that's like it's a funny cycle that you'll find if you stay super introverted the entire time. Eventually people are going to start talking to you anyways once you're good enough. But hopefully within that time you do break out of your shell and you realize people are super nice, and so you'll learn to talk to people and that sort of thing. There's also a huge chance that a lot of you watching this are already social, and so like a lot of this didn't even apply to you, and you probably just started talking to people kind of naturally, like you know how to meet people, and so I'll probably title this video like for my introverts, the social benefits of climbing. But yeah, so it'll get you out of your shell. Now, aside from getting you out of your shell, I'll mention like one more benefit that's been super dope, and that's community. And for me, with community came like a lot of fulfillment. Now, I mean, in my like I still kind of focus on it, but not as much like directly. I used to be super into like the self-improvement kind of like whatever background, and like trying to be fulfilled and all this stuff. You'll find that community, if you have something you really, really like and you do it with people you love, like that's fulfillment, bro. At least February 12th, 2026, like that's what I think it is. And like, yeah, I mean, climbing is just like is awesome, and I get to do it with people who are also obsessed and they're awesome people. You'll find that there's like a huge sense of fulfillment from that. Personally, I like to organize things, and so like just recently, this is probably uploaded already. Spoilers if it's not. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it. Whatever. I planned an outdoor trip recently, and I invited a bunch of people. They all came. And it was awesome. That's like a really great feeling for anybody who like might be interested in that in the future, to see like the fruits of your kind of like of your effort, bringing people together, all doing something they really love, and having just like an awesome experience, and knowing that like you were the one behind that is like another level of fulfillment, and like that's something that I want to keep doing far into the future, if not forever. Like that is such a dope feeling. I say a lot, but yeah, I'd say those are the benefits. It gets you out of your shell, and there's a lot of fulfillment in that. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. I'm sure there's other benefits to like the social aspects of climbing. If you're a really competitive climber, right, and your goal is to like become super competitive, you'll find that you can still practice climbing while being social. Like that's one of the best parts about climbing, is that while you're climbing you can be in a social setting, and so that's super dope. You don't have to sacrifice like that social aspect too hard to become world class. I mean, to an extent, I don't know. I'm not an Olympian, I don't know, but from what I've seen, it's pretty chill. But yeah, that's it. Dang, that was a lot of videos. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one right now, but I hope you enjoyed this one. If someone watching has like another social aspect or benefit to the social aspects of climbing, that would be dope to share. Guys, I'm not like trying to farm engagement. Like the channel's too tiny. Like I don't care about that stuff. I just want to know like your honest opinion. So if you want to comment it and share it with everybody else, you can do that. Or if you want to just message me, like I have an Instagram, same channel name, it's Duncan Fu. If you want to DM me it, like I just want to hear it. Like that's honestly like that's it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna eat some food and go to bed. So I will talk to you guys on the flip side. Peace.